So I'm standing in a field of wheat. Harvest isn't far off. In order to check whether we're ready to harvest, we can do a couple of tests. We have here an ear of wheat. If you crunch it between your hands, you can see the grains are becoming separated from the chaff, so we can get a sample of grain here. Let's just take one of these grains here and you can bite into it and it gives you an idea. So that's a pretty hard grain, so that's a good sign that the moisture content has come down. Initially it starts off as sort of a watery texture, and then a sort of a cheesy texture, and then crunchy. So we go to the crunchy stage. So we now need to use our moisture meter to measure the moisture content, which ideally needs to be about 14 or 15%. If it's higher than that, then it needs drying, which costs money. If it's less than that, then you get less weight. We've now got our sample, so we separated the grains, and we've got our moisture meter here. We're going to put the sample in the top of the machine. It compresses the sample, so it's showing a level of 14 to 15%, which is more or less in the ideal range.
Hello.
Hello. I'm refilling with soil so that the rabbit's got something to dig in.
We've got a broody hen in this pen.
So this is Mr. Midnight, who unfortunately was attacked by the fox almost 3 weeks ago now, when the fox took out the rest of the hens in 2 pens. He was discovered. Thank you. He was discovered lying next to one of his dead ladies. Unfortunately, he seemed to have lost all head and leg control. I think he had a bit of an inflammation of the cervical cord. He is improving. It's taking time. He gets physio 3 times a day. You're going to show off how much you've improved. Can now just about stand, and he can just about manage to walk on his own. There's a bit of a roly-poly balancing act. Good boy, Mr. Midnight.
So we're just topping a bit of rough ground just to define the field boundary. Just before harvesting, it's a requirement to sweep out the trailers. The red tractor assurance inspector will want to see the diary entry to that effect.
Sorting out the sieve sizes. Looks like they're being eaten by the combine. Everything's lined up in the field, ready to go.
So we're getting the toys out of the box for 2022.
This area of the field was affected by flooding about a week after it was drilled, and so it's much thinner and full of weeds, unfortunately. But the rest of the field is looking very nice.
So we've just done the first run in the combine, and we've stopped to see how we're getting on, to make sure we've got everything set up all right, to make sure that we're not leaving too many seeds behind in the field, and to make sure that the ones we are harvesting have been properly threshed. And I've got a sample here. So there are a few green grains in there from the tram lines. The other seeds have come out quite nicely. So we also wanted to check the moisture content of the first sample, just to see if it was dry enough and acceptable. It's a bit higher than we'd like on account of the green grains, so we may have to give them a little bit longer to dry out. So Rebecca, who is now a very big girl, is having her first driving lesson in a tractor today. And we are just going through some of the basics. Then I'm going to drive it into a field, and she's going to have a go herself. Rebecca, we're going to start the tractor. So in order to do that, you need to turn the ignition on. So put your foot on the clutch all the way down and turn the key. Keep going. That's it. Now put the direction gear into forward with your foot on the clutch, and then take the clutch off. Well done. No, take your foot off the clutch gently and head round that way. Now to your right. That's brilliant. Okay, and then let's change up a little bit higher. Why don't we go up to B? So you just push the lever forward. Well done. And C. And a little bit of hand throttle. Well done. That thing, yeah. Well done. Whizzing along. 3.9 kilometers an hour. Now, I think we should try going backwards, as we've now mastered going forwards. So put the hand throttle down. And then put on clutch. And then out of forward. And the car that was behind us is reversing at enormous speed. Okay. Try not to run into the weeds. Stop. Put on clutch. Okay, well done. You've got to look where you're going. Go forward.
Oh dear.
And now back again, but this time look where you're going.
I can't do this.
Yeah, you're doing fine. Put on clutch. That's fine. You wait till you've got a trailer on the back. That's even more interesting.
It's dusk here. The chicks are due to hatch, and I've got some chicks that want to say hello already, although they haven't yet hatched. But I'm hoping you might be able to hear their cheeps. So we'll see if our lovely hen is going to let me just take them from her. Hello, lovely. Hello, lovely. There's her eggs. There's a couple of eggs under. Can you see the shadow here? This suggests that it's breaking through into the air sac, and it's going to hatch probably tonight. And you can see the movement, the black on the light. Can you see that gentle movement?